You are not far from God. You have simply stopped walking. And that is exactly what makes your crisis more dangerous. Because when someone recognizes that they have moved away, there is hope of returning. But when someone believes that the distance is due to time, pain, or God, the heart becomes complacent, and pride disguises itself as regret. The absence you feel is not divine. It is cowardly. You say that you can no longer pray, but you still know where He is. You say that you no longer feel His presence, but you ignore the fact that you were the one who silenced the altar. The problem is not distance, it is decision. And while your mind builds theories to justify this emptiness, your spirit cries out for movement. But the body remains inert, and every body that stops rots inside. What you call longing for God may actually be the cry of a heart that has already given up, but is still afraid to admit it. What you call waiting for God's timing may just be fear of acting. And what you've called spiritual weakness may be cowardice hidden beneath verses. It's easy to say, "I'm not ready yet," when in reality, you don't want to let go of control. It's easy to say you're praying when in practice you're stuck between faith and comfort. The waiting zone has become a hiding place. The faith that pushed you has become a cloak to justify your escape. And now, everything you don't decide, you spiritualize. Returning is possible, but you fear what you'll have to leave behind. It's not a lack of strength, it's an excess of attachment. And attachment is the worst chain because it seems to be part of you. It looks like faith, but it's pride dressed up as prudence. It looks like caution, but it's attachment to the illusion of control. Meanwhile, the altar stands empty, and every well-crafted excuse you tell yourself is another brick between you and the presence that says, "Come back, now." There's a kind of pride that doesn't scream, it cries. He says he longs for God, but he never kneels. He raises his hands in worship, but never bows his head in surrender. He masquerades as repentance, but avoids the cross. This pride doesn't have to be arrogant, it just needs to be stubborn. And a stubborn heart is the gateway to ruin. That's what Solomon wrote in Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction. It's not sin that destroys first, it's pride that refuses forgiveness. And pride is dangerous because it convinces you that you're still trying. But deep down, you've already decided not to change. Judas felt remorse, but he didn't turn back. Peter wept, and he went to meet him. One was broken, the other was broken. That's the difference between repentance and pride. One bends, the other waits to be crushed. If God is still speaking to you today, it's because He'd rather see you surrender than be destroyed. But if you keep resisting, sooner or later, He'll love you enough to break you. The Bible does not mask falls, it exposes them with light. And what we see in the scriptures is not a parade of perfect saints, but of children who fell and were tested by what they would do after the fall. The prodigal son, for example, did not return with praise on his lips. He returned broken, stinking of pigs, with no more excuses, no more pride. When he ran out of food, his pride died of hunger. And then he got up. Because repentance, in the scriptures, is not a feeling, it is an action. Peter, the impulsive one, denied Christ 3 times. But when Jesus meets him again, he does not bring condemnation. He asks, "Do you love me?" John 21. And Peter answers not with tears, but with truth. As for Judas, he felt remorse. He cried, he suffered, but he did not return. He preferred to die with wounded pride than to live with a surrendered ego. 2 betrayed, 1 got up, the other killed himself. The difference? 1 had the courage to return. The other was ashamed to be restored. The word does not lie. Every heart that bends is embraced. But every heart that hides walks away alone. Because God never hides. He waits in the same place where you left him. It's not sin that keeps you from coming back. It's your attachment to who you were with him. The truth is that you're not afraid of God. You're afraid of losing what you've built away from him. You're afraid that coming back means burying the character you've learned to love, even if he's killing you. The longing for his presence is there, yes. But the attachment to your old identity screams louder. And every time the voice of the Spirit whispers, "Come back," another voice responds, "But what about my reputation? What about my pleasure? What about my comfort zone?" You want God, but you also want to maintain control over the script. But in faith, there is no co-authorship. Either you give everything, or you live on emotional crumbs. call into process what is actually a slow rebellion. God doesn't demand strength, He demands surrender. But those who love their old version will never have the courage to crucify it. And if the cross scares you, maybe you're still trying to save a life that God has already told you to bury. God never locked the door. He never stopped calling. He never changed His address. You are the one who left, and you are the one who needs to decide to return. But returning requires courage because the door is narrow, and those who carry pride, resentment, or too many justifications will not pass. Returning to God does not hurt because He is strict. It hurts because you need to let go of what you used as a shield. And pride does not let go easily. But if you stop for a moment, you will realize the present still calls, the light still shines, the Father still waits. There's only one thing missing: you. If you hear this word today, do not harden your heart. Do not wait for pride to crush you before remembering that you could have surrendered. Hebrews 3:15 echoes like thunder. Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden yourselves. Returning is not romantic, it is violent, against the ego, against the flesh, against everything that wants to keep you away. But it is possible. God does not want emotion, He wants surrender. And if you still feel that this message moves you inside, it is not guilt, it is an invitation. Return before what paralyzes you becomes your definitive prison.